All right, here's what we got. Got a 99 Arctic Cat 300 4x4. Got a brake hose apparently clogged or collapsed on the front. Thing's been sitting in a barn for like 4 years. I drug it out, cleaned it up, got it running. Had to put a carburetor on it. And so I got a new brake hose. I'm also going to replace the handle with the master cylinder because it's not holding. So I'm going to get to that. Your brake line is right there coming down. It's got that T right there, and then your hose, and then vice versa on the other side. So I'm going to start taking this loose. Got a sensor on there. I guess that's a brake light switch. Alright, I'll get right back with you.
Alright, I got the wheels pulled off. And that way you get to the brake hose, it's just on the caliper there. I'm going to start pulling apart the brake hose T in the center. It's got a Torx bolt. So here we go. I don't know what size it is. Dump them all over the place. It's fairly small. It looks like a T27. Now it came loose pretty easy. That's out. And we got, well, I guess I prematurely did that. I might want to put that bolt in loosely just so the T holds still while I break the brake line loose. Unplug the stop switch. Wrench. Gotta find a wrench to put the brake line. Actually, it's a line coming. It's like about 10 mil, maybe. Could be standard. I don't know. Let's see. It's too small. 10. Too loose, so I guess it's standard. So I'd say about 3/8. Yep. Oh, she's been on for a minute. Ideally, you'd be using a line wrench, but I'm using an open end. We're going to see what happens. If not, I got some nasty pliers. Oh, I broke loose. Alright, I'll be right back. I'm just going to pause it while I get this loose. Okay, I got the center loose. So all I got left is the hoses at the caliper. These hoses should have, well, they're a banjo fitting. They should have little brass crush washers. You got to make sure you keep those because the new brake line didn't come with the new ones. Yep, there's one on there. Just carefully remove the bolt. Stick it back in the hole for a minute so I don't lose it. I'll do the same thing on the other side. Well, it looks like brake hose goes underneath the shock. And to get it out of there, I'm going to have to pull the shock mount loose. And looks like these shock bushings are wore out. Now I got a 250, no, it's a 300 two-wheel drive that I had to replace them on too, so I have extra ones left over. So I guess it's going to turn into that too. So 17 millimeter socket and a 13 millimeter wrench. Get this loose. Came out pretty easy. Then take the shock loose. And as you can see, it's pretty gnarly in there. Feels like the top part's loose too, so I might just take the whole shock off, do both ends. I gotta see if I got any bushings. But while we're here, we'll take our brake line loose. I'm going to repeat the same thing on the other side, and that'll break the whole line free. So this is the aftermarket hose, and it doesn't look like it's got a provision for the brake light switch. So I'm assuming that's what the electrical wires are for. So I'm going to go ahead and use it because this is the only one I can find online. And maybe I could use, there is a switch on the handlebar, so I could possibly use that somehow to work my brake lights. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. I mean, I'm not too damn concerned about it, but it'd be nice to have. So I'm going to start installing the new hose. And it doesn't seem to have a direction, so you can put it in either way. It's kind of universal, so there's no right and left. Tighten the screw that holds it down by hand a little bit. And then see if I can strip the line down, the hard line to meet it. Actually, it might be easier if I loosen it back and bring it to it. So the way I figure is, you're looking at my back here, entertaining, right? I figured leave everything loose. Just finger tighten it. And then put it in its place, but it seems like the hard line's easier to hook up when the whole thing's loose because you can manipulate it to get the thread started, which I believe I have. Give it a couple turns with the wrench. Make sure it's not cross-threading. Feels pretty good. So if you're starting to tighten the brake line nut and it starts to get really stiff all of a sudden, you're probably cross-threading it. It's not straight. You'll want to loosen it back up and realign it because those things get real bad real quick. Very unhappy. Hold down bolt started. I'll go ahead and tighten that stuff up and then I'll get back on here. So the brake hoses have a rubber cushion, and the top of the cushion has a divot in it for the shock. So you want to install it this way, lay it in the track, in the control arm. And then you'll bring your hose down to your banjo bolt, and you'll have your washer, one on the outside, one on the inside. These banjo fittings on here seem a little smaller, but I think they'll work. If I can get the bolt start. Same thing, you don't want to cross thread anything, so just take your time, make sure you're aligned, give it a couple turns. If it gets real tight, then you're probably too much, and you need to back it out and start over so you don't cross thread it. I think I'll get a socket for this, a 13. Make it a little quicker. And you want to tighten that bolt pretty tight because you want to recrush your copper washers. Really, you're supposed to use new ones, but I've reused them before and they seem to be fine. And there it is, pretty tight. I'm going to duplicate it on the other side. Okay, so I bought this BrakeMaster cylinder and lever off Amazon. Doesn't seem to be as heavy duty, but we'll see how it works. I disconnected my switch, and I got 2 Allen head bolts to remove the handle, and also the brake line. It's still 3/8. I'm gonna go ahead and break that loose. I gotta go round up a couple Allen bolt or wrenches. Be right back. So the factory bolts in the handle are actually Torx. So I started to loosen them up. And I think I found for the handle, I think it was about $17 for the whole thing. But I also found a rebuild kit for this master cylinder for about $21. And what I think I'm going to do is just save this, rebuild it, and put it back on. Use the cheap one for a temporary fix, because they're not hard to change out. But these handles are pretty easy to change out, so rebuilding it, I don't think, and then reinstalling it, it's not going to be a big deal. I guess I can make a video on replacing the guts on the old one too. And I just broke it. Chinese. Gotta love it. Apparently, it doesn't like this fat handlebar. Cracked the back plate. I don't know if I had it in the bind or what. So, got your back strap that holds it on there, and you just snap in half. It's pretty low grade aluminum, looks like. Maybe I might be able to steal the other one off the factory for now. If the bolt holes line up. Looks like they'll line up the threads on the bolts different, so maybe use the bolts that came with the aftermarket one. Let's try it again. Like I said, for $15 or whatever I paid for this master cylinder. I can't really complain. Pretty tight right up at that. I'm going to back this out here in a second and see what happens. No, I think it's maybe paint and threads. It seems pretty easy now. Or very poor machine work. Well, at least the lid says it's made in the USA. Plug my switch back in. Then we'll fill it up with fluid and I guess start bleeding it. Get some fluid. So I cracked the bleeders open on both fronts and pumping it. It's taking it down. Yeah, it's still going to have air in it. At least I got the line. Okay, got the back rim broke loose. So they always say bleed from the farthest point, so I'm going to bleed from the rear. And since I don't have anybody with me, I have a clamp I'm going to put on the handle for every time I pump. So I got the vice grip on the handle, I pull the fluid back. Take the brake handle, pull it all the way back. Brake again, bleeder, let it flow. Time. Try the right one or the left one. See what happens. It's using the fluid though. Resistance. No more air at that time, though. That's all you get from the swivel. Pretty long lines in the back, so. See what happens. It's getting pretty good flow out of it. Bubble in that one. I'm gonna work on this. I don't want to waste your time. Okay, for after bleeding them all for quite a while, I finally got it to get a pretty firm handle. So I'm going to go ahead and proceed with replacing shock bushings. I'll make another video on that.